Assemblies, and he's joining us from our Abuja studio. Good morning to you, Honorable Ego.
Thank you, Falari. I'm happy to be with you once more.
Indeed. First of all, as I said, we're looking at it from the point of view of what? Accountability within the society, the checks, balances, which usually have to do with law, and good governance generally. It's something of a mouthful. Tell me what you can tell us about that particular package, as it were.
Yeah, that package, I'm relating it right now to the 4 tax bills that Mr. President presented to the House.
Okay.
Are on that debate right now.
Okay.
Yes. And those tax, yes.
And that some...
Those tax laws that the president, yeah.
It caused a sort of furore.
Presented, yeah. Some people are against the laws. And I'm saying that under accountability, everybody has his responsibility in governance. The president has a responsibility to present bill to the House. Members of the House, both Senate and House of Rep, have a duty to look at those bills. And if they find them good, they pass them. If they don't find them all right, they can amend them. But for the governors, other northern governors or the governors combined, to come and say the bills should be dropped, secondly, that this bill should not pass, and that the amount that the president recommended, the derivation he recommended under the VAT should be reduced from 60% to 30%. I'm saying that the governors are acting on traverse and they don't have right to do what they are doing. They are dictating to the president. If these bills are passed and government is good, there's proper accountability, at the end of the day, people will praise Mr. President. If these bills are passed and it doesn't work well, of course, the president would have failed. But the governors who have a duty to govern their state don't have a right to dictate to the president and by extension to the House National Assembly. If the governors are so interested in the amendment of the bill, what they needed to do was to talk to the members who are representing them. Okay. And to tell them their feeling. During the first and second reading, then the members can contribute towards the bill and make amendment at the third reading. Then besides that, there is also room for public hearing. Such governors can organize themselves and put their view forward. But to take authority into their hand and say governors have met and therefore the bill the president brought will hereby direct the president that he should reduce the derivation element on the VAT from the 60% he proposed to 30%. Is not only legal, illegal, but a traverse. So what I'm saying, allow the president to do his work, allow the National Assembly to do their job, because that's what they are elected to do. And not the governors dictating what it should be.
Okay. The governors cannot dictate, can they? They cannot dictate to the National Assembly. They cannot dictate to the president. And should they try to do so, I would imagine that they would simply be ignored, even though much has been made of the power of the governors that make up the governors forum. That this is a very Nigerian thing. Is that not the? Can the governors really have an effect? As you said, if they have any issue, there are processes. They can't speak directly. They can go. So that's the point that you want to make. That's the essential point.
That is the point I'm emphasizing. Yes, because when you do that, it shows you are preventing the president from ruling, and the president must take responsibility for all his action and any law that is amended. This amendment the president brought to the House is a major amendment.
It is.
Of all the laws, tax laws in the country, and the president worked on this with his team for a long time. And I have a feeling, because I've gone through them, that these laws will make Nigeria to progress. But there are some governors who are afraid of those things. For instance, the northern governors who initially came and said, it will make the north to be poor. I don't understand. Kano State, for instance, is a very rich state. So if there is derivation in VAT, all they need to do is to work hard and get derivation from VAT. And with this law, it's going to encourage every state to work hard. It will encourage internally generated revenue. And for you to be able to do that, then the governors, of course, will have to ensure that their states are safe. There are no bandits. Look at Lagos, for instance. Lagos is very safe. And that's because the governors who have been ruling Lagos have ensured that life and property is safe according to the major act of the Constitution. But there are some states where the governors don't bother. Bandits come, people come, disrupt everything, they disturb investors, they are not bothered. So if you are not bothered about the welfare of your people, about the economic well-being of your state, of course, then you will lose through the VAT. But if you are working hard, of course, you should not be afraid of the issue of the VAT. Because people say, oh, the North is poor. But I don't believe that. In the First Republic, we know that the North was competing favorably with the East and the Southwest. And since they found oil, and then, of course, found that a lot of tax is coming from Lagos, it appears some sections of the country are no more bothered to work. So these bills is going to encourage the entire country to work hard. And what I'm saying is that the National Assembly should be allowed to do their work. Governors should not do the work for the National Assembly. They can consult their members at the back. The same way that the governors can consult the Senate at the back, and they can also appear at the public hearing. And if they do that, of course, National Assembly can amend the bill if they convince them. But to just sit around the table and say, Governors Forum have decreed that the VAT as submitted by Mr. President is hereby amended to 3%. Then, of course, to 30%. Then, of course, there was no need for the President to submit it. The governors should just have gone ahead to pass it. You know, so they are acting on traverse and they are not acting within the law, and they should allow the lawmakers to carry out their work, to look at the bill that the President sent. If the lawmakers feel that the law, what the President said is good enough, they will take it. If they feel they need to make amendment, they will make amendment. If they believe in rejecting it, they will do that. But for you to say it should not be debated at all, this is what it should be, I think democracy is not run that way. That is the point I'm making.
Okay. I get you. And thank you for the explanation. But what would you say to those who would say, look, they can, if the governors wish to spend their time in that way, you know, much has been made of the fact that the governors forum are too powerful. They're not just powerful, too powerful. First of all, as a former member, I don't know what you think about that, but you've just explained that where the areas where they shouldn't go into, let them not be, as you legal people call it, ultra vires, their actual function. Can they simply not be legislatively ignored? Because
well, yeah, they can be legislatively ignored, but they would have made the best of themselves. Because what is happening, like you said, the governor forum is very powerful. Nobody is against it. But people are bringing politics into it. Look at the Buhari state governor, for instance, you know, who is bringing PDP ideas to criticize the bill. And he's indirectly deceiving other APC governors to buy into it. You know, all he's doing is to discredit the bill and the bill that the president submitted so that APC will become, the president will become weaker, and the PDP will have enough reason to criticize the president. But it appears to me that a lot of the governors are not seeing through what that PDP governor from Bauchi State is trying to do. You know, because when you look at the bill, if you read it carefully, you will see that no state will become poorer because of it. Because in the old act, under VAT, the federal government collects 55%. But under this particular one, the share of the federal government has been reduced to something like 10 or 15%. Majority of the remaining money is shared between the states on the quality basis and on population. Yes. The only difference is the area of derivation, you know. And because derivation will encourage some other states to work very hard, there will be a sufficient surplus that will go into the federation account. So on the whole, it's a win-win situation for the governance. And if you look at the other part of the tax bill, it's very friendly to the poor, to workers. If you earn less than 800,000, that's almost $1 billion per annum, you would not pay the tax. Unlike that, when somebody who is earning just 200,000 naira is paying tax. So the bill is friendly to the public, and it also exempts small scale industries from paying tax. There's a particular amount that turnover you must have first before you pay tax. So the president thought through this bill before he submitted there.
Yeah.
And for the governors to just come and blanket criticism, it's not the best. Because at the end of the day, what they are trying to do is to prevent the president from doing the right thing for the country. And I will advise the governors to concentrate more in their state, work harder in your state, get enough internally generated revenue, and then get enough VAT to benefit your people, rather than coming to intrude in the area that is sacrosanct for the president and for members of the National Assembly.
Do you think it is mischief, or that people don't understand the legislative process? Because otherwise, I would say, why should one be too concerned about this, in that there are established procedures and protocols? Everything from state houses of assembly right up to the National Assembly, there are order, there are rules, the order, very, very similar to the law courts, where things are done, they are rule bound. So if we did you want to come in? Because the rules that I'm talking...
You are correct. You are correct, yes. Now, there are two parts of it. There's some mischief in PDP governors, try to deceive other governors to reject the bill provided by the president, to discredit the president and the present APC government. That mischief is here. Again, they cannot also pretend not to know what is right, because this same bill, if the National Assembly passes it, of course they will see the benefit of it. If it's constitutional amendment, they know it will come to their state. But it's not constitutional amendment. It will come to the State House of Assembly if it's constitutional amendment. So they are aware of the way the law works from the National Assembly when a bill comes, goes through first reading, second, third reading, public hearing, and then, of course, both houses either would have a conference on it, or both houses will look at it individually, do amendments, and then at the end of the day, they will come together to reconcile it before they pass it to the president for assent. These governors are aware. I think that it's more of mischief to criticize the government of Bola Tinubu, to say, oh, we said it, he's not doing well, it's against certain section. No, this bill is not against the North. It's not against the poor state. It's not even against the rich state. People have not taken time to read the bill. It's about 300 pages. I've taken time to read it. If they take time, if the governors take time to read it and get their experts to read it, or ask the Udele committee to come and explain to them.
All right.
The governor of Nasarawa State recently said that their initial misconception was because they have not had the opportunity to look at the bill. Now that they have explained the bill to them, it's not as bad as they thought.
Exactly.
So
one moment. Can I just
relax?
Okay. Yes, we'll continue. But let me bring on Mr. George, who has called in from Lagos. Good morning, Mr. George. What do you think is going on?
To the guest.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, I thought we have put this subject behind us, because I saw the governors coming together to say they now agree with the with those bills, and that the VAT issue had been discussed and agreed upon. But be that as it may, let us bear in mind that wherever you need citizens to give, there's always one form of resistance or the other, especially in taxation. The average human being does not want to pay tax, especially we in this part of the world, because we don't trust that the government will use the tax to do what we want. But my only consolation is the fact that the president is a determined person. He knows where he's going, he knows what he wants, and he knows how to go about it. He insisted, and there was a dialogue, and everything has moved on. I think that is the key thing. In my view, we should
Can
just,
I come in briefly?
let it be and wait for the implementation when the time comes.
Yeah. All right then. Well,
Can
thank you,
I come
Mr.
in briefly?
Yes, please.
Sorry, yeah. Thank you,
Honorable.
Mr. George. Yeah, thank you, Mr. George. Now, on the main bill, if you go through it, the president said 60% to pay as derivation to the state that generated the highest amount of VAT. And you know, to generate high VAT, you have to have peace in your state. The government will have to work hard to get internally generated revenue. Now, the governors have come to say, no, that 60%, we don't accept it. Even though we don't accept the bill, it should be reduced to 30%. What I'm saying is that the governors don't have the right to tell the president to reduce the VAT element of derivation to 30%. President has submitted 60%. They should allow the two houses to look at the 60% and to look at the rationale behind it. Instead of the governors coming to use their power to say, oh, we are the governors forum, this 30% and the 60% is rejected, it should be 30%.
Okay.
You know, meanwhile, the bill, meanwhile, the bill, with the House, is saying 60%. And to address what George said, most Nigerians don't like to pay tax because they don't trust government will use it well. But if you read through these three acts, you find out that they are reducing tax for low-income people and even for high-income or a certain area, you will not pay tax. So
yes.
It's a very progressive
okay. Yes, you made that point earlier. Yeah. I believe that Reverend Dominic is also waiting to join us. Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Yori. Good
Thank
morning
you for calling.
To your guest in Abuja.
Yes.
Can I go on?
We can hear you.
I can hear you,
okay.
Yes. Dominic, I can hear you.
Yori, honestly, when the governors began to play this game of what I call hide and seek, of ignorance, I didn't feel good. But to me, the essence of this bill is almost about to be defeated. The essence of this bill, to ginger a new tax reform in Nigeria, is almost really back to politics. Because these governors also have made a decree as almighty governors. And the Mr. President, who is a Democrat, have come into a middle place to agree with them. If you ask me, if we move from that 50% your guest is hammering on to 30% the governors are clamoring for, we have gone back to where we are coming from. Because the essence of this bill is for people to work. And whatever you work, you eat. Not be monkey the work, but with the chop. But we are going back there. If we have agreed with the governors on their own proposal, what I'm trying to say, Mr. President should find a way to present this bill as it were. Let us be a debate, yes or no. If yes takes the people in yes I number, we go on. If we know I number, we step it down. But to do the deal of the governors is setting us back to where we're coming from, which Mr. President wants to pull us out from there and make people to work and make people to strive and work so that in every level there shall be profit. Not when I'm laboring, somebody is eating. But the government is taking us a step backwards to that old way of doing things where somebody work and that person will take the gain of it. So that's what to say. Mr. President should have stand his ground and remove politics out of it. He has been a good person. He won an election in 2023 against all odds. They are putting him with that bill. If we don't do it this way, we will go to the north. I don't think that Mr. President should, fall to that kind of cheap that way. All Nigerians support this bill. But it seems like politics is having its way. Mr. President has tried to agree with the governors so that we can start this piece of graveyard, which did not go down well with me. And this is what I get is never to explain to Nigerians. God bless Nigeria.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much, Reverend Dominic.
Thank you.
You know, just as Mr. George said, he said he thought this matter was behind us now because last month, you recall, well, I think there was a meeting, they had a meeting, and it was reported at the time that the Governors Forum has finally thrown its weight behind the tax reform. And reading from a newspaper report at the time, the state governments made this known in a communique issued at the end of a meeting with the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, in Abuja. So, you know, yes, I hear the governors said that the revised VAT sharing formula must ensure an equitable distribution of the 50% that we're talking about. That seemed to be their insistence, 30% based on derivation and 20% based on population. So, as George said when he called in, this matter, why are we, you know, there's no matter of, the governors have said that they are on board now. Just as you yourself said, Honorable, maybe after the opportunity to study it, it's a voluminous document. There are 4 actual bills that were sent by Mr. President. So until we're having this conversation, but we did want to have it in case there were areas that still needed to be handled. But the general idea, is it not, is that this matter has been dealt with. The governors that did not see their way clear are now saying it's clear. It's clear to us. There's not very much wrong here. Everybody knows that Nigerian tax laws are archaic. And this is what Mr. President is going about addressing. So just like Mr. George started off saying, why are we talking about this matter? Are there some things that we should know, Honorable?
Yes, there are. Because the original bill, which is still with the House, we talked about 60%.
Yes.
For derivation.
Okay.
To make every state of the federation to work hard.
Yes.
For example, for instance, look at Zamfara, where so much gold is found that if the governments of the people of Zamfara state behave like Niger Delta, where the governors protect the oil,
okay,
Zamfara state could be richer than River State.
Okay, one second, sir. One second, sir. I have a call that I'm in danger of losing. Ibrahim, Ibrahim is on the line from, is it Niger State? Yeah, Mina. Ibrahim in Mina.
Yeah, go ahead, Ibrahim.
On the line from Niger State. Yes, Niger State, Mina.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and your guest out there.
Good morning, sir. Honorable.
Okay. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I think your guest has succeeded in reducing this topic to tax issue. Yes, he has succeeded in reducing this topic, this very important topic, to just an item, tax. We are talking about accountability. We are talking about check, and we are talking about balances. We are talking about good governance. So he has cornered it to issue of tax, as if that is just the only thing. The governors they are talking about, they equally have rights. They have rights to say they don't want. That's what democracy provides. Democracy did not say a particular person should have. Even there is a process. And this is where the check and balances comes in. The check and balances are issue of the National Assembly. I remember that when this issue came up, the National Assembly at the lower house, the House of Representatives, did not discuss it. And the government realized certain things that they did not do well, that they did not communicate with the general public before coming into the air to do these things. So I was thinking that the issue of that tax, after that communication, it has been narrowed down to acceptance, which we are waiting for. But let us come to the issue of accountability. Do we have proper accountability in our country? Do we have check and balances in our country? Do we have good governance? Accountability. We have seen it happen here and there that governors, our representatives, even the president, will come and mess up the finances of the country and go away. Even the minister, the EFCC will go after everybody. At the end of the day, it will take many years. So these are issues of accountability that has not been, the system has not properly checked. you look at the state and national assembly, even the governors we are talking about, at the state house of assembly, they don't allow you to function as a proper tool of democracy to check their SSs. So, and that's why even at the National Assembly, you now call where you have rubber stamp. So I think, well, as it is, are we having good governance in the country today? How do we know we have good governance? It's very simple. In running a business, you have profit and loss. The profit and loss at the end of the day, when you make your gain, you see it in cash. But in a democracy and in governance, what we see is that the improved standard of living of the people. So we now ask ourselves, as the standard of living of the people, is it better off? This is where we measure good governance. No matter amount of money you produce, either in tax, if you don't focus on production, on productivity, you will never go anywhere. The value of the money itself is a value of exchange. It is not the volume, it is the value. So if you can use 1,000 naira to get what 1 million can buy, then we are talking about good governance. We are talking about this. So let me not take your time, Uncle Yori.
Okay, sir.
Accountability check.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Yori.
Yes,
I think he has
please.
spoken very well.
Yes, and in wrapping up now, Honorable, in wrapping up.
Yes. Yeah.
Please go ahead, but
Yes.
in wrapping up.
What I'm saying is that in good governance and accountability, you must follow rules and regulation.
Yeah.
The National Assembly is elected to make laws for the Federation. And there are systems, democracy system that it goes. You have first reading. The bill will come out. Everybody will see it. We will have a second reading. They will gazette it in the House. At the end of the third reading, during this time, you will debate it. And you can make amendment under the second reading or the third reading. After that, there's still a public hearing. Before the two houses will harmonize the bill. We are saying that in a democratic setting where there's accountability, it is the House that will do their work and not governors giving order.
All right.
That so bill, this is how it must be done.
Okay.
So I'm speaking exactly what the speaker according from Niger State to talk about.
All
you
right.
know, what I'm saying is that the should not come and say National Assembly cannot do this. They are usurping the power of the National Assembly.
All
what
right.
they needed to do
Honorable.
is to reach their members from behind,
Okay.
so that they can put their views when the bill is being debated and passed.
All right.
So we're speaking the same thing.
Indeed,
Thank
indeed. Well, there's a sense, I want to thank you very much for coming along and, as it were, underlining this whole matter, the processes, there are rules, there are procedures. In fact, that is what makes the whole issue of accountability, checks, balances, and good governance better.
That is it.
Yes. So I want to thank you very much, Honorable Ogene Emma Ego, for coming on and underlining this very, very important thing. And to the viewer who called in saying that our guest, Honorable Ego, had succeeded in reducing this to just one aspect. No, not necessarily so, as he will find out once we come back from break. And there are other aspects to the principles that we're talking about here that does not exclude what Honorable Ego has brought up. In fact, it's been quite valuable. Thank you very much, Honorable Ego, for coming on our program today.
Thank you, Yori.
All right, then.
I'm glad to
our
be
pleasure.
with you. Thank you.
All right. So we'll take a break now. We'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did they?
TVC News. First with breaking news.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet, sour taste for all. Their demands, a familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
Meet Benga Oreshegun, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to journalists' Hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays, 1:30 p.m.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of the story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Okay, welcome back, and well, actually, we want to move on now. Maybe, actually, he's a friend of the house. Please do the honor of the introductions.
Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Tony Daniel. I'm a lawyer, a maritime consultant, and a public analyst.
Thank you very, very much, Mr.
Thank
Daniel. You should. I said maybe you should also do some of the work that we do.
Yeah.
Now, we want to look at the question of the governor of Rivers State presenting the 2025 budget. And it's important for me to say...
2024.
Was it 2024?
The one that had been presented last year.
Yes, sorry, 2024 budget. But now it's been determined that it's not of consequence. Events have overtaken it, and he has applied that the matter be dismissed. In fact, some lawyers were making an issue out of struck out or dismissed. Which one is the appropriate one? But in any case, it was dismissed.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I read and watched what the comment or interview granted by my friend, senior, Femi Falana, SCN. The fact that he's in that matter, because he's in the matter, he's in the team of lawyers for Fubara.
Yes.
He ought not to be making that kind of public comment, you know.
Even though it was clarifying.
No, you see, that is number one. Number two, I need to clarify the fact that the appeal, there are so many appeals involving
River State crisis, both at the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. The particular appeal referred to for the purpose of correction is the decision of the Justice of the Federal High Court, Abdul Malik, to the effect that, is Abdul Malik or Motosho? I've forgotten Justice Motosho.
It's a Motosho.
Good. That it's wrong and unconstitutional for the governor to have presented the appropriation bill in Rivers State to just 4 members of the State House out of 31 members. And then they went to the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal upheld that position. Fubara's team now went to the Supreme Court. Now they came up to file a notice of discontinuance. If it was other courts, if you file a notice of discontinuance before the other parties have taken steps, the case is struck out. If the other persons have taken steps, they can demand for compensation. At the Supreme Court, the other parties have taken steps. And Justice Daudu, even though the other lawyers who are equally SCN, did not oppose the withdrawal of the appeal, Justice Daudu drew the attention of the Supreme Court justices to the fact that issues have been joined. There are 5 processes against the appeal filed by the Fubara team. And because of that, they want compensation. And I think they were granted to 2 million.
2 million each.
Now, the danger of saying the event has overtaken the issue, with due respect to the SCN, is wrong.
But with the explanation, this is where I know it's important that because there are many more of me than there are of you. That is to say, we are not, what is that thing you lawyers like to say?
We are not learned.
We're not learned. We're not learned. So the point I was making here by bringing that up is that the bill, what it refers to, doesn't exist anymore.
No.
The money has been spent.
No, excuse me.
That is the explanation.
No. For example,
we're trying to make sense of
for
it.
example, Uncle Yori.
Yes, sir.
I'm at the Supreme Court for a case. It's a criminal matter. The defendant has been convicted and he has served his jail term. But I'm still at the Supreme Court to get the court to declare that that conviction was wrong.
Okay.
Now, there was a decision by the Federal High Court. You went to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal said, no, the Federal High Court is correct. You cannot present an appropriation bill to just 4 persons, contrary to the provision of the Constitution, whereas we have 31 persons. You now file an appeal to the Supreme Court. That means the law or the position of the case is as decided by the Court of Appeal, which I've said the step you took was wrong. So if we want to refer to that case, we shall refer to the decision of the Court of Appeal, because the Supreme Court did not reach any decision in that matter anymore. The decision of the Court of Appeal was what the Fubarasi matter. What I'm saying is that if you want to refer to the decision of the court in respect of that matter, which decision will you refer to? Because there's a decision. The decision of the Court of Appeal.
Okay.
It remains valid. It has not been set aside. It has not been upturned. So as regard this case, that is the position of the law.
Well, yeah. But again, to seek this clarification, it was said that because there's no conceivable benefit that can be derived from continuing, and because we don't want to waste the precious time of the Supreme Court, and so this is why we are not going to continue with this, because it doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, it doesn't mean anything anymore to you.
Okay.
It means a lot. Some persons went to court to challenge and said this is supposed to be the correct position of the law. The court upheld the position of those people. You said, no, you are not satisfied. You went to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal said the position reached by the lower court as maintained by the opposition is correct. You said, no, 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 you are going to the Supreme Court. You are going to the Supreme Court to upturn the decision. So the decision does not affect only you, which means the position of the other party is correct. So what it means is that if we want to refer, if we are doing similar case with similar facts and principle of law in a lower court, like the High Court or Federal High Court, and the issue of presentation of appropriation bill to members that are far less than the quorum required by the Constitution.
Yes.
You can refer to the decision of the Court of Appeal because for now, that is where it stops. The Supreme Court have not tested it unless it happens again. So the decision of a court primarily benefits the parties, but the society and law itself also benefit from it. So the locus classicus of that case has become a locus classicus. The decision of the Court of Appeal is a reference point if you have issues like this. Okay. It has not been upturned, it remained valid.
Okay, and, yes. And because of what you've just said, I understand why you say that Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, you take exception to his, because he's also a party.
It's a party.
You take exception to the explanation that he gave.
No, the explanation he gave to the effect that his team, because he's part of the team for the Governor Fubara, deliberately formally withdrew the appeal they filed at the Supreme Court. That is correct. But what is the effect of the withdrawal when he said it is spent? What is spent?
The subject matter.
Yes, because they are coming into another financial year now.
That's right.
Which means they cannot represent the appropriation bill to these 4 persons. I have said it at this station that...
Does it mean that? Because...
That's what it means.
The law can be quite technical.
No, the Court of Appeal decision has not changed.
Because now we're talking about 2025 appropriation bill.
The Court of Appeal decision is that you ought not to present an appropriation bill of your state to 4 members of the House. This does not mean that I'm supporting Wike. I'm not a fan of Wike. I was very impressed with the decision of the same Court of Appeal that you cannot starve a state of funds when a justice, I think it's Justice Abdul Malik, that gave a judgment that the state should not be giving money, the central bank should not. But the Court of Appeal set aside that because we look at the doctrine of necessity. The state must exist. The state must survive. And the state is the society. So money to a state is food to man. They need the money. You can't stop them from getting money. Indeed. So now I am also aware that there is a case like Femi Falana SAN stated. Once you defect, and I don't know why we have this proliferation of cases of defection. Once you defect from a party under which you were elected to another party, except there is a clear issue of, factions, like we currently have in PDP, you have vacated that seat. What the members of the Rivers State House Assembly did, I think 27 members, if it is true, was that they deposed to an affidavit that we are leaving this party. If they have done that, yes, if it is true that they did that, I am also aware, or I gather reliably, that they went to court to get an injunction stopping INEC from conducting fresh election, which means INEC is supposed to conduct fresh election. That's what it means. So if you go to court to stop them, that means you know they are supposed to conduct. You are now technically and negatively exploiting judicial procedure to force injustice. 2 years is almost gone now. They have 2 more years to go, and we are still having this crisis. What the judiciary is supposed to do, and I think the CJN has been doing some of these things, take certain matters very serious, go out of your way to set up a panel to take that matter. The issue of injunction stopping INEC from conducting election for the 27 vacant seat. It means that the seat have become vacant. They should give speedy hearing to that matter.
Okay, but there's also the issue, I think one of the justices, if it is just one, had pointed out that the charge that some people had lost their seats because they had decamped to another party, no evidence of such was actually brought to court.
I will be surprised to hear that because I read about that too. I'll be surprised. These are SANs. I have advised Fubara and Wike. We lawyers, particularly those of us who are, I mean, those of them that are SANs, are the one making the gains from this crisis. You are enriching them. They are already very rich. The affidavit that they deposed to was referred to severally by my brother Femi Falana, SAN. If he has referred to it, and he was in the team of the lawyers for Fubara, I'll be very surprised if they didn't front-load the certified true copy of this affidavit.
Apparently not.
No, because
a whole justice will not be asserting that Fubara's team had neglected to provide any evidence to the court system that indeed a decampment had
I have not seen the judgment, and I'm not privy to the documents filed or processes filed. But I doubt if that omission will be made. If it was made, that's too bad. That would be most unfortunate. Femi Falana, I respect so much. Oga Yusuf, I respect so much. They cannot be in a team and that kind of mistake is done. Whereas the primary purpose of going to court is to get the court to declare the seat vacant. And you say you didn't go with the proof that that seat has become, the basis upon which you are claiming that the seat has become vacant, you didn't canvass it. Even newspaper published it. And I think the fact is so notorious.
So where does all of this leave us now in terms of the status of this particular issue?
As regard the members of the State House of Assembly,
for example, yes.
As a lawyer, based on my knowledge, subject to any superior argument from any person, the seats are vacant. But the INEC cannot conduct fresh election because there's an injunction. That is that. Every development will be visited with technical and legal reaction. So again, I have said it twice on this station before you, Uncle Yori, that political solution is the best for what we have. It will continue to, I'm a lawyer.
Will it hold?
See.
Will it hold in the presence of so many laws and lawyers?
Uncle Yori, recently, did you read that Amechi, the one-time governor of Rivers State, was given an award, and he openly dedicated the award to somebody we all consider his arch enemy, Wike. Are you aware of that? You see, it takes maturity, not really age, to resolve issues. It takes, if you are egoistic, it will be difficult for you to resolve issues. Wike's popularity was at the balance because of the incident in Rivers State and because of his toughness in his ministry. This is an opportunity. Let me tell you what Afe Babalola did recently. You think he doesn't have the power to fight? You think he cannot fight? Or he doesn't have the money? But look at that party's anger. Look at what he did. He became very popular.
Yes.
Based on that act. Wike called Fubara. Be sincere. Two of you should sit down. Resolve all these issues. Let Rivers State start getting the dividend of democracy. What's all this show of power? Fubara, if Wike is not calling you, go to Wike yourself. I'm very sure if you walk into his office and say you want to talk to him alone, he will not stop you. Why are you waiting for the president and waiting for other people to resolve the issue?
What I've taken from what you said is that there has to be an alternative solution, not necessarily a judicial solution.
The injunction is stopping INEC, and they can negatively exploit anything in the through judicial procedure or processes to further delay it. Have we not seen cases where somebody won an election, the other man before the improvement on the laws that limit the time for hearing political election cases. Before that, you see somebody elected, complete his tenure. The matter is still in court.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thank you very much for coming along.
Are we true? We have not.
We spent so much time.
Oh, really?
And it's valuable because you've just explained a number of issues that relate to this. I can't go over them because and you've just finished saying them anyhow. But I do want to thank you, Tony. Mr. Tony Daniel is a legal practitioner and an advocate of human rights.
Thank you so much.
Wherever you see that one, if there's any infringement, you can expect you among a lot of other colleagues to be up in arms. So I want to thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate you. Yes. Indeed, that's where we're going to have to leave it today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Volare. Bye-bye for now.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. At ShopX TV, our customers are the heart of everything we do. As a special thank you for your continued support, we are offering our customers 10% off on selected products from now till November 15th. That's right, shop now and save big on some of your favorite items while stock lasts. Don't miss out on this opportunity to grab amazing products at unbelievable prices. First is our amazing 4-in-1 CookX blender. It's a food processor, a grinder, a blender, and a juicer all in one. The CookX 4-in-1 blender comes with 3 versatile cup sizes, each crafted to handle special tasks perfectly. Imagine effortlessly whipping up smoothies that are truly smooth, pounded yam and soups that are flawlessly pounded and blended. You would normally pay 189,950 Naira for the CookX 4-in-1 blender. But call the number on your screen right now or scan the QR code and get it for just 170,995 Naira. Incredible! And that's not all. You can get the CookX 4-in-1 blender in 2 easy payments of 85,498 Naira. That's right, pay twice to get this amazing cooking solution. And we are not done yet. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the ShopX Ultimate Crunch Exercise Machine. The 6-in-1 machine is designed to take your fitness to the next level. No need to worry about expensive gym fees. You can now work out from the comfort of your home and achieve results. With Ultimate Crunch cutting-edge technology, you can transform your body. Its enhanced features deliver a full body workout that's efficient, effective, and enjoyable. The secret is its advanced design that combines multiple exercise models into one unit. The versatile machine features adjustable resistance levels, an ergonomic design, and a built-in digital tracking system that displays speed, time, distance, and calories burned. From sculpting your abs to toning your legs, upper body, and strengthening your core, you would normally pay up to 449,950 Naira for the ShopX Ultimate Crunch. But for a limited time only, call the number on your screen now or scan the QR code and get the ShopX Ultimate Crunch at 404,955 Naira. Incredible! And that's not all. You can get the ShopX Ultimate Total Crunch in 2 easy payments of 202,478 Naira. That's right, pay twice to get this amazing fitness solution. But hurry, limited stocks available. So call the number on your screen now or scan the QR code or visit our website to place your order while stock lasts. The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
Hello and welcome to TVC News at midday. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. In a bid to reinforce operational integrity and ensure effective management within the Nigeria Police Force, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has convened a virtual meeting with strategic police managers where he addressed issues pertaining to the ethical and professional conduct of police personnel. The IGP warned officers against breaching the rights of citizens, as he emphasized that the duty of the force is to uphold them. He says rights violation and misconduct will be met with severe consequences. IGP Egbetokun warned all tactical squads against the misuse of power and improper dressing, stressing the importance of operating in approved uniforms. He concluded the meeting by directing that all ranks must work collaboratively to prevent irresponsible acts that can tarnish the reputation of the force.
There has also been complaints from members of the public on abuse of human rights by policemen generally. Command CPs must pay special attention to the conduct of their policemen. You should be reminded that we are human rights protectors. Our duty is to protect human rights and promote human rights, and not to violate human rights.
Away from security to the National Assembly, where it is said that Nigerians who desire the creation of new states must meet the provisions of Section 8 of the 1999 Constitution as amended within the next 1 month. Deputy Speaker and Chairman of the committee, Benjamin Kalu, gave these guidelines during an exclusive interview with TVC News. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa has more.
So, the argument is that
in the last few hours, one major talking point in the country has been the declaration by Mr. Kalu that his committee received some requests for state creation. In an exclusive interview, the Deputy Speaker says the 1 month timeline is to enable the proponents of new states meet the conditions as specified in Section 8, subsection 1 of the Constitution as amended. The section states that an act of the National Assembly for the purpose of creating a new state shall only be passed if a request supported by at least 2/3 majority members representing the area demanding the creation of the new state in each of the following, namely Senate and House of Representatives, Houses of Assembly in respect of the area, and local government councils in respect of the area, is received by the National Assembly.
there are constitutional procedures.
The chairman of the Constitution Review Committee appeals to Nigerians behind state creation to hit the ground running and meet the provisions outlined in the Constitution.
As we speak, none of these 30 proposals have met the requirement of Section 8. And that was why we decided to bring it to the notice of Nigerians that your application